What up, though? Make sure y'all check out Neptunes Sunday, hosted by Vaughn and Vogue. It's available any and everywhere you get your podcasts. And welcome back to another installment of Baltimore County Forever Podcast. What up, though? This is a very special episode, something that I came up with. I want to say this is like November. I had an idea of pretty much taking different artists' discography and seeing what I can construct based off of me kind of playing A&R. So for the most part, it's like today's guest is someone that, you know how you randomly just on IG you just see clothes and anything related to music, and niggas know me. If you know me, I'm a Neptunes baby, dog. Like, I can't explain what these niggas mean to me, dog. Like, Pharrell has been like an idol for like a lot of us, but where I got my taste in dress, like what to listen for. I love reading liner notes as a kid growing up, and it was just like he was the epitome of what I am as a nigga from the county. So it's like I'm not into nothing, but I know niggas that's in this stuff allegedly, and then it's kind of like I grow up in a sense of I know where to be and where not to be, and the stuff that occupy me. And music has always been that, the love for music that I've always had. But so let me get back to exactly why we're here. For the most part, it was an idea that I came up with just sitting around, and you know the various discussions you have with people about music. It's like, oh, I don't like this song on this album. I wish this song wasn't there, or they shouldn't have ended the album with this, or it should have started with this. And that's always been a discussion in like my friends and my music group chats and shit like that. So, but like I said, it's a special episode. I want to. I'm hella excited. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I'm hella excited because I don't get to talk the Neptune stuff with too many people. They don't really understand it. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have the co-host of Neptunes Sunday. We have V Moss in the motherfucking building. Let's go.
What's good? Appreciate you having me, man. Like, all the stuff that you talked about is exactly how I feel as well, Like, it's just, if you are a certain age, black male, black people anyway, in that age group that we grew up in the early 2000s and in our teenage, high school years, or even middle school years, just being able to have Pharrell and Chad and also that they came to Star Trek, being able to carve out a space for us that we felt comfortable being, not gangster, but gangster adjacent, but also not rock and roll, but rock and roll adjacent, and being able to figure out who you are and who you want to be and feel comfortable in your own skin, but also knowing that, if you love it, you love it. Doesn't matter who you are. If you like it, it's cool. So just being able to have that inspiration of being able to be yourself and be creative, that was a huge deal for me. But obviously, so I'm born and raised in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
So just to figure out that these guys who are doing what they're doing at the highest level and then bringing the Clipse on into it later, that they're actually from down the way, like from 757, like, huh? Like, that was mind-blowing to me growing up. So, like, I basically just became a fan immediately, and, just the music spoke to me in so many different ways. They had so many hits too. Once you went back and like really realized how much music they were making, how much good music they were making. My godbrother, who is basically like our moms are close best friends, and they've known each other since they was 11 years old. So this is basically like my older brother. So me and his younger brother used to just be downstairs in the basement when he was DJing. And he would drop all of the early 2000s shit in his sets. Like, I remember vividly in the basement, his stack of crates had Melvin Flint the Hustler was one of the top ones. I just remember that album cover, and I remember oh no, and like he put us on. So like all of that, just like I've been a fan and just respecting all the stuff that P and Chad have done individually and as a collective, obviously with the Star Trek movement, but just to be making hits for so long is amazing. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. What is your earliest Neptune production memory?
Uh,
Is it Melvin Flint?
I say my earliest memory of really realizing it was them was definitely it was definitely Jay-Z Give It To Me.
Mm.
Like I recognize Super Thug, I recognize Oh No, like I recognize the Khalees joints, but like that was when I realized, oh, when Hogue said "Get you bling like the Neptune sound," I was like, nah, man, stop playing. Like,
Yeah.
like okay, let me pay more attention, man. But one of my favorite stories that I always tell, like I told in the podcast a couple times, but I always tell people as it relates to my fandom to them is my god brother who I was just talking about. His younger brother and me the same age, so we went to high school together, we grew up together. Um, so our senior year, I mean our freshman year at our high school, the older god brother DJ'd a party for the two flyest girls in our high school, like for their graduation party, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we tagged along carrying the crates. And my man, my god brother dropped Philly's Most Wanted, Please Don't Mind.
Ooh.
And that put me in a different space, yo. Like, cause I'm watching the crowd react to it, and it's like, it wasn't one of those drinks that was like a certified, like, oh, that's at the peak. It was like, yo, it was a warming up drink, but it still had an impact, though. Like, when we talking about, we in Richmond, Virginia, we not like in Philly or up here, where they from, or like anywhere in the Northeast. Like, we in Virginia, bro. And like, for that song to go as crazy as it did was a big deal.
Man, Philly's Most Wanted, dog. Pretty much, in the sense that Neptune's second crack at being at like putting out a group.
Right.
For the longest time, I always said Philly's Most Wanted was the first Clipse that actually performed well with charts and allowed people to see what Neptunes can do, given the opportunity to create a sound for a whole album.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that shit. Please don't mind the remix to Cross the Border, the JBM remix, and it had the Clipse on there, Fab, and Philly's Most Wanted. Like, that's a very a very slept on album, dog. A very slept on album. My first memory of the Neptunes would probably be Oh No, specifically the video. Seeing Pharrell with the choker and a beater, and then years later see him on Drink Champs and hear like that's him. Like when Nori first met him, that's what that nigga looked like. So it's always dope. Man, it's so much we gotta get to. I want to start with your podcast. So how did you settle on the name? Like it's pretty dope. Like initially when I seen you talk about, I forgot the guy's post, but it was like he put out a Neptunes collection recently. And I went to your page and I was like, oh, this shit sound dope. I think he was talking about the Clipse Bracket, which, I don't think we got time to talk about this Clipse Bracket. But I want to, before I get right back to, you answering the question, I want to say I commend y'all for completing that bracket. The episode was long, but I did not care. Like, I was so invested in this shit. I personally tried to do this 2 or 3 years ago with a Jay-Z bracket. And it didn't really work out because 2 of the 3 people were Jay-Z fans, and then the other one was a Nas fan. So I kind of it wasn't the right space for him to be on there. It was a bad idea. I can't lie. Like, when I was listening to this episode, I was arguing with y'all niggas.
The bracket episode was so dope. First, so shout out to B-Dot, for the whole bracket show concept. That's where I kind of got inspired for it. But like that specific episode is so dope to me And again, like you saying that you don't care that it was that long, you listen to it, like that means a lot to us. Cause like that really is just me and my best 5-6 friends in a room talking shit about shit that we love, about this music that really made an impact on us. And you know, I listen to that, and that moment means more. Like the music is one thing, and obviously the competitive back and forth and analysis of the music is another thing. But like, I live in Philly now, so like I only get to see those guys. We only get in a room together like that maybe 2-3 times a year at the most. And so to use the podcast is another reason for us to bring all of us together, and this just fellowship and, you know, juice is flowing, you know what I'm saying? Just love, energy, like with the people that you love the most is just a dope. That's what's dopest about that episode. But obviously the conversation was what it was.
Yeah.
You like it, you love it. It is what it is. We got to what we got to. We're not gonna ruin the bracket. If you haven't listened to it, go check it out.
Please go listen to it.
But yeah.
So it was one part when y'all niggas said I think it was Chinese New Year, and somebody said something about Roscoe, and I was just like, they ain't fucking with Roscoe Pico Chain. Like,
nah, man, we love Roscoe.
You know, I was listening. I'm like, nah, I ain't like that pause, dog. Everybody got kind of quiet and shit. I was like, nah, what's up with these niggas?
Nah, man, we love Roscoe, man. Like, I think so. In the group, it's a couple of us that's more tapped into others.
Okay.
So like, I've heard all the Roscoe shit, like Itching to Get You, or like, you know, obviously Delinquent was crazy, and obviously all the stuff that he was featured on. But like, not everyone's heard that. And I also bring a different perspective because like I live down the street from where this man like used to run. So like I have a different perspective of Roscoe. So in that moment, we weren't in the space, and I feel you. We weren't in the space to have a Roscoe conversation. But shout out to Roscoe.
Yeah, shout out to Roscoe. You said you live in Philly now?
Yeah, man. I lived up here for like almost 2 years.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm in Philly all the time. My girlfriend lives in Philly.
Oh,
so I'm always there and shit. So I understand I always wanted to be involved, just seeing how Philly artists, like where they come from. I'm from Baltimore, so it's kind of like cousins for the most part, but just to see what the Young Guns are talking about with Nice Town, or to see what Beans is talking about with South Philly and stuff like that. It's a dope experience, and all the good food spots is up there. But
and I've actually had the chance to meet Freeway a couple times up here. And I'm around people at work that are like born and raised here. So just that energy, like specifically one of my homeboys at work that's from South Philly. Just I appreciate the way that he's accepted me as an outsider, and the way that just makes me feel good that like I'm here and I fit in. Like, okay, cool, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good up here.
Yeah, I know that feeling, dog. I actually went to the Freeway, the 20th anniversary joint. It was beautiful.
Man,
it was beautiful, dog.
I'm so sad I missed that joint. I actually had to run DC that Saturday, and I couldn't get back in time.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm a Neptunes baby, but I'm also like Rockefeller to the death. B-sides, mixtapes, all of that. Like I love everything that came out of Rockefeller. But I was long-winded. I'm sorry. How did you get the start of the podcast? The name, the inspiration, your co-host as well?
It's really simple as just like a lot of the stuff that came out of the pandemic was just trying to figure out ways to spend your time, right? But and even before the pandemic, like just being into the music, I've always had a playlist or like a folder or whatever where I just have any Neptune song, any Pharrell song, whatever, just drop it in there. Try to refresh it every year or so just to make sure that I don't miss nothing, or whenever something drops, make sure to add it. So I just got in the habit of, on Sundays when I didn't really have nothing to do, just throw the shuffle on. And like when you got 600, 700, 800 songs on a shuffle, like you always gonna catch something that you forgot about, or something that you just, oh man, I ain't never heard that for real. Like, oh, like what is that? And like, oh yeah, this is my shit, or like, yo, that's my favorite song, right? So just the energy of spending the Sunday afternoons, whatever, just whether it's cleaning the house or doing some work or whatever, like that's where the whole concept of like the name Neptunes Sunday came from. And I before the podcast, I would like make playlists and share them with people, and like, yo, I just put on the shuffle, like here's all the songs and send it to my boys and stuff. But what happened in the pandemic is like when verses really jumped off, and everybody was speculating could the Neptunes could they do it versus who would they do it against, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, if they do it, here are the 20 songs. I made a playlist, I put it on the gram, on the story, and told people to hit me back. And so my co-host is actually Vogue, is one of my cousin's best friends. So like my cousin who I grew up with up here, they from Upper Marlboro. So I used to be up here in Upper Marlboro all the time. And like me and her just became tight over the years, and we've always respected each other for our music taste. And I've known that she's been a fan of P and the Neptunes. So she was one of the first people to hit me back with her own 20. And it wasn't completely different, but it was definitely some songs on there that are specific to her that I would not have put on my list.
Okay.
But at the same time, was still super valid. Like, 100%, you can argue and be like, yo, okay, cool, yeah, your 20 actually is legit. And so we just, in that conversation, was like, yo, we should just have these conversations, man. Like, let's start a podcast. We initially started about doing a Clubhouse, but Clubhouse kind of became like a fad. And I was like, we might as well just record it. Let's just record it, hop on the Zoom and do it. And so that's really what it is. And so, like, whenever we have specific things that we want to talk about, we hop in, we prepare, we do it. But we've been really blessed to have some really cool guests too, like that have just come off the strength of, if I think about people or I see people on Twitter who I see are in the space, who are active and talking about certain things, and I can get the vibe, like what the stuff they're talking about, that they would be a good person to have, whether it's just a guest to have a conversation or whether it's a guest to have about a specific topic, like just off the strength, just email them, just like, yo, come on the podcast. And if they hit me back, cool, let's figure it out. Or if they don't, okay, cool. Like, I might hit them back again in a year and see what's good. But it's really just been, a labor of love for me as a side hobby, just to keep the energy going, keep the creative juices going. I make all the content. Like, I chop up all the videos, chop up, like, all the graphics and stuff with Vogue's help sometimes. But really what it comes down to is, like I said before, is I'm a kid from Virginia. Like, so that is at the forefront of all of this, is the conversations come back to me bigging up that place and all the things that it's done for me, but all of the things that Virginia has done for the culture. So, like, we gonna talk about Timbo. Like, when we did the Justin Timberlake episode, like, yeah, we showing love to Timbo too. Like, this ain't just about the Neptunes, or like, we mentioning all the people that have been in the 757, and we try to talk about Bink and Knots, and we talk about, even not from the 757, from our hometown in Richmond, Skillz. So like, that's always going to be mixed in there, is like, how can I use this podcast to make sure that people know that there's something in the watershed is not just the name of a festival, man. Like, this is really about what that state has done to impact so many different areas of our culture and society, specifically in the music and entertainment space. Whether you talk about Pharrell and Chad and Timbo and Missy, or you talking about Iverson and Vic and Plaxico Burress and all of those guys too.
Damn. You're good. You're good. Now, before anything, because I heard you say the shuffling Neptune song. Shout out to Corey Towns. Him and it was another DJ. They put together this 12. Yes. Burning. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Putting that on shuffle is, oh my God. I think it's a Nori song I've been trying to find. No. You know what it is? It is the Charlie Wilson, Just Him Beautiful. His version of Beautiful is on there, but I can't figure out what CD it is. So every once in a blue moon, I take my hard drive and I go through it and I try to find it. I can't find that shit for nothing. So we talk about it today. I might as well try again today. But when the first time I heard that, I was like, oh my God, bro, Charlie Wilson really smoked this, bro. And
Bro.
stuff like that, and hearing Rel's version of No Better Love when it's just him. Like, stuff like that I love B-sides. And a partial reason why I love my girlfriend. She loves B-sides. Like, we like just sit and chill and just listen to music and give perspectives that we have, man. And it's just so dope. And you said a lot that kind of mirrored who we are, like, and who we pretty much represent. You brought up Mad Skillz. I love Mad Skill podcast. I just recently started to listen to the Sample Suite, I think, and they had a conversation with Bink on there, and that's when I found out the different records Bink produced. He produced I didn't know he did Before I Let You Go by Blackstreet. That was news to me. I had no idea. I'm not a stranger of his talent though. Like, such an amazing producer, and like, dog, I love Virginia. my dad is from the Eastern Shore part of Virginia. So it's just, I don't know, it's so welcoming down there. Similar to like parts of Baltimore. Parts of Baltimore.
Yeah, I know Baltimore too, yo. My dad's side got a big family, so one of his brothers and their family grew up in Randallstown. So I used to come up there for Thanksgiving a couple times.
Wow. Yeah, Randallstown's like 5 minutes from me. 10 minutes. Yeah, I live in Pikesville.
Okay.
So it's like cousins. Randallstown is still, they a rival high school, so we take that to the death. But shout out to Milford.